Hi guys, and welcome back to another Project F30 video. So a bit of a different video today. I thought I'd provide an update on the MST intake on my F30 as I started having issues a few days after the install. This was after I drove the car quite hard, so I was wondering if something had come loose during that time as it seemed fine right after the install. There were two main symptoms. One, something weird going on with the idle. It would suddenly jump up and settle back down sometimes with the car just sitting there. And two, when the car was slowing down while driving, the RPM would dip and then go back up, so the car would be quite jerky to drive. After doing some research and speaking to some friends, I decided to go over the install again to make sure everything was tight, as the symptoms sounded like a possible vacuum leak after the MEF sensor. While checking the connections, I realized that the original turbo inlet pipe had snapped off and was no longer connected to the turbo, as you can see from the picture. I asked a good friend for some advice, thank you Malcolm, and decided to order a replacement for my good friends at Stuttgart Parts in Taman Mayang. I'll leave the contacts and links in the description as always. He then arranged to have that part delivered straight away. Thank God they were still open as it was a Saturday afternoon. He also said that it was a common part that needed replacement, which is what I was seeing online too with a quick Google search. I then started to uninstall the original turbo inlet pipe while waiting for the new one to arrive. Getting the nut out was quite tricky as I did not want to accidentally drop the nut and then not be able to find it, but it came out okay. Having the proper tools really helps, so do invest in a set if you haven't already. I bought a Toptul Ratchet set recently that I really love, so I'll leave a link to it in the description below. By far the hardest part though was getting the remaining part of the pipe out of the turbo. The plastic was really brittle and started breaking off, and as there was quite a lot of oil in the turbo, which I understand is quite normal without an oil catch can, it was really slippery and messy. The space was also really tight, so you had limited access and visibility of what you are trying to do. I spent a long time trying to pry the plastic piece out, but it was really tight, and when I was just about to give up, I tried again to pull it out with a pair of pliers as my friend suggested, and that finally did it. Looking back, that would be my advice too. Just clamp your pliers deep into the plastic piece and squeeze as hard as you can while pulling outwards. It should come off after a few tugs. The installation of the new part was then actually really straightforward. The hardest part was again putting the nut back on due to the tight access, but just be patient and we will get it. I must say I was really happy that I managed to sort it out myself, and the sense of achievement was really nice. I would recommend though that you wear some protective gloves and maybe a long sleeve shirt while working so you don't end up like me. So it's now been a couple of days of driving the car since replacing the turbo inlet pipe, and the car has been driving completely well now without any issues. I've really been enjoying the intake as the sound is even louder now and the car feels like it has more power, which is not surprising as there was likely already a leak from the pipe when I was installing the intake, and driving it hard after likely caused it to break clean off. I did notice that it was already a bit loose when installing the MST intake, but I thought it was normal and nothing to worry about. So in conclusion, if I were to do this again, I'd likely get the MST turbo pipe along with the intake, as you can install it at the same time for peace of mind. It is also supposed to help your turbos pull quicker and improve the sound as it has better flow. However, this option was not available to me at the time as I needed to fix it urgently. If you prefer not to upgrade the turbo inlet pipe, then be sure to account for the possibility of it breaking off like mine. I've seen other reports of the same issue online, so inspect the pipe when you are installing the intake and do it at a time where you will be able to purchase the part immediately should you need it. If you are installing this at the workshop, get them to check the condition of the original pipe too. Stay tuned for a proper review of the intake coming up now that everything is working great again. As always, leave the video a like or feel free to comment if you have any questions or comments, as that really helps the video out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.